Okay, so this is the 9.2, sorry, Eternity's End developer preview. You know we're in trouble when the literal first post is Blizzard must be feeling really good about YouTube disabling the dislikes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ooh. Oh no 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 no. Oh shit. Oh. 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 Crap.
The Shadowlands story pulls together threads that started in Warcraft 3 and wove their way through many of our expansions.
No, you retcon crap because you put in a Thanos ripoff. You retcon crap. Everything that was written for Warcraft through the RTSs, through Vanilla, TBC, Wrath, Kata, all that, you know, even pre-Kata, all that, Zaval was not even in the equation. Neither in Cataclysm, or Mist of Pandaria, or Warlord's Dread, hell, not even Legion. Zaval was not in the equation. You introduced him, and you retcon shit. And you butchered Sylvanas. Butchered her character. Which I'll talk about that in a minute.
We approached it like a drama in 3 acts. Now, as the third and final act begins of the saga, we need to stop the jailer from reaching his ultimate goal, which is to rewrite the rules of reality. Eternity's End serves as the
Is that such a bad thing? Is it such a bad thing? Like, he's trying to rewrite the rules of existence and eliminate, you know, what's been going on and whatnot, but is it such a bad thing?
the final chapter of one book of the Warcraft saga.
I know I keep pausing, but I really don't care. The ending chapter of the Warcraft... What? What? What is... What? What? No, we're not copying in Walker at all. I'm gonna be pausing a lot, so sorry.
The jailer has the advantage. He has seized the sigils of the leaders of the Four Covenants.
We see Sylvanas realize that she's been a pawn in the jailer's game this entire time.
Look. I love Sylvanas as a character. Hold on. Hold on, chat. Mods, get the ice to cool chat down because I have something to say. I love Sylvanas as a character. I do. I do. What they did with her character when they first introduced her in Warcraft 3, and the way that she was portrayed in the books, especially with what Christy Golden showed and whatnot, with how, you know, Arthas basically, I'm being very careful with my words. The word used was violate when he turned her into a banshee. And he did it with malice and intent. And all of this was done without anything having to do with this jailer Zoval, Dr. Evil nipples. Okay? She was a victim of that. She found comfort in her Banshee sisterhood, which, by the way, was targeted only at women, by the way. So that was even more malicious intent that Arthas inflicted. Okay? Then she became the leader of the same people that suffered the same indignities and unlife that were placed upon them forcibly, by the way, forcibly. The thing is, Sylvanas and the Forsaken never got closure with Arthas. And they should have. And they should have. Sylvanas should have been present at Icecrown for the attack on the Lich King. The fact that she wasn't means she never got closure about it. Now, backing that up a little bit with the Wrathgate thing, this was before that idiot said, oh, Sylvanas was behind the Wrathgate, which is such a bullshit narrative. It's bad writing. The original Wrathgate thing was she was betrayed by the Dreadlord that was, his name escapes me, Varimathras, and Putris. Putris was an example of someone who had this unlife inflicted upon him and let his, and let this his pain and his misery and all that overtake him. He turned it into wrath and he betrayed her. Okay? Narratively speaking, this should have been when Sylvanas realized, don't let what happened to you overtake you and erode your soul. The thing is, they never gave her the closure, and they never gave the Forsaken closure when it came to Arthas and the Lich King. So they have her commit suicide. Okay? They have her commit suicide. Which even then, it's like, if you just given her closure, this wouldn't have happened. And I know this is like where the Forsaken are just the arrows in her noct or whatever and whatnot. But the thing is, they portray that as, well, like the same as bullets. And I'm taking a lot of this from a really good Twitter post I saw, and I'll post it later. I posted it in the Discord. But the thing is, there's a difference between arrows and bullets. And you take care of your arrows, you don't take care of your bullets. Because you fire a bullet, it's gone. But then they turned it to where Sylvanas was no longer a character trying to seek closure and a character trying to live with the things that were placed upon her and a victim. She's no longer this. Now she's been turned into a selfish being and whatnot, way later on. And again, then they introduced the whole thing with Zaval. And here's what doesn't make sense to me with Zaval. I know I kind of went off on a tangent and there was some stuff I was missing there and whatnot, but here's the problem I have with Zaval. They throw in the jailer later on that he's the one actually behind the Helm of Domination in Frostmourne. He's the one that was behind everything. And Sylvanas was in leagues with him after she committed suicide by throwing herself off of Icecrown and killing herself. They retcon this later on. And it made no sense. If, with Zaval being behind the Lich King and everything else, why in the world would you have Sylvanas ally herself with basically her abuser? Basically, the one behind her misery and her damned life here is a banshee. Why would you have her ally herself with this? And the thing is, one, they've left out so much of the story. They've left out so much. There is exposition and explanation from the narrative that we as the viewers don't know. And they just throw this stuff in like, oh yeah, the jailer, was actually the one. And it's like, what? And the thing is, we didn't know about the jailer literally until before Shadowlands was coming out. We had no clue who this guy was. We didn't even know he was within the very cosmos of what is the universe that is Warcraft. They just threw him in there and said, he's the guy behind all the bad stuff. And they've taken this character that had such depth and such a great story behind her and someone you could actually rally behind. And they made her an idiot and butchered her character. I hate it, and I hate them for it. They're idiots.
And she refuses to serve him, and she's taken prisoner.
The jailer is able to open a portal to who knows where, taking Anduin with him.
And the Primus had us take some time to retrieve some new sigils.
Now we have gathered our forces. We are working with the Primus to open our own gateway to pursue the jailer to this realm unlike any we've seen before.
The Primus opens a portal, and we come into this alien land. It's completely white, fog.
Can we please just go back to Azeroth? Can we please just go back to Azeroth? Please. Can we please just go back to Azeroth? Please. It's supposed to be World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft. I'm sick of not being in the world of Warcraft. Can we please just go back to Azeroth? For the love of God.
We're walking on water for some reason.
Oh
We
my
can
God,
only
we're
make out
walking
some
on
shapes,
water!
some
We're
figures there,
Jesus!
some crazy devices and consoles.
Eventually, you make your way to a giant gate,
I mean, it
and
looks
behind
neat.
it lies Zereth Mortis.
What is this?
Zereth Mortis was created by the first ones, and it is intended
Who? 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 Who were the first ones? Who? Who? What? Okay. I'm going to give an example here. A comparison, if you will. They're now throwing in the first ones, who apparently, if I'm just going off that name alone, I'm going to call it now, they are the creators of everything. Okay. Why are we just now hearing about these? Why are we just now hearing about these, and why are they going to be important to this lore? Because I guarantee you, the moment the next expansion happens, none of this is going to matter. None of this is going to matter. The moment Shadowlands is over and the next expansion happens, none of this is going to matter. None of it. Everything that happened in the Shadowlands, these first ones, none of it's going to matter. None of it. None of it. Absolutely none of it. Let me make a comparison to 14. I know I'm that guy, and some people are like, oh, don't do that. But you know what? I'm doing it, so shut up. Okay? 14 players. In what expansion do we find out about the 12? Answer me, chat. You already know the answer. Character creation 1.0. It's already ingrained in their lore as far as cosmic deities are concerned. It's already ingrained in it. And Hydaelyn. Hell, you find out about Hydaelyn at the very beginning. And then a little bit later on, you find out about Zodiark. The cosmic deities of Final Fantasy XIV's world are introduced to you from the very beginning. You want to know why people don't care about the cosmic deities of WoW, aside from the Titans? Because the Titans were involved from the beginning. We knew about them. And see, the Titans and the Pantheon in WoW were cool because there was all kinds of quests and lores and even dungeons that dealt with and delved into the very lore, the cosmic lore about the Titans and the Pantheon and the things that made them so mysterious. The things about the Titans and the Pantheon in Azeroth and in World of Warcraft have been there from the very beginning. That's why the Titans and the Pantheon and the Loa, yes, and the Loa were interesting. And even Elune, stuff like that. That stuff has been there from the beginning. This crap, the first ones that they're just throwing in there, give me a break.
to create afterlives.
Think of it as being tucked away in the fabric of the Shadowlands itself. It's kind of the behind the scenes of these afterlives that we've journeyed to.
I mean, it looks cool.
It's the land where the progenitors, the first ones who created all of the realms of the Shadowlands. This is the...
So they created the afterlives of the... Somebody paid him to say that. Someone had to write that. So the first ones created the afterlives of the Shadowlands. I bring this up again. You want to know why this doesn't matter? You want to know why it doesn't matter? Because by the next expansion, it will not matter. By the next expansion, it will not matter. It won't. It will not. It will not matter. It won't matter. You know why? Let me give you a good example. You know that big-ass sword that's stuck still in the heart of Azeroth? Yeah, it's still there. Still there. It's still there. Doesn't matter. They're not going to address it. By the way, people that played in Legion, you know that lantern that allowed her to subdue Valkyr? We never got an explanation for that, and we're not going to get one. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to make it through this video. Buy the book. Here's the thing about the book. Here's the other problem I have with the book. Okay, maybe not the problem I have with the book. This is the problem I have with Blizzard. The books are good. The books are very good. Here's the problem. The narrative of what characters think and feel in the books, none of that matches in game. Let me give you an example. Hold on. This book right here. This book right here. This book right here. Now, I want to go on record right now. Christy Golden is a fantastic writer. And she honestly gives more cadence and life to these characters than whoever the hell is doing the lore and crap for the games. She is very good. Very good. Here's the problem. The narrative that is in here does not match what's in here. For example, Sylvanas doing everything in here and whatnot. None of that. All of her inner monologue and everything else. None of that once mentions the jailer. Okay? When she burned Teldrassil, not once did her monologue or words or anything say anything about the jailer. Nothing. Nothing about sending these souls to the maw to feed the jailer. Not a bit of that. None of it. In fact, the answer she gave about burning Teldrassil, as heinous as it was, here was her answer for it. Because Saurfang spared Malfurion, it would spark hope within the Alliance. She sought to dash that hope by burning Teldrassil. The entire campaign that they made up north, while and you have to, and everybody needs to, before somebody says, "Oh, you're a dirty freaking horde," we have to remember, y'all, this is a fictional story. This is not reflected upon in personal things and whatnot. We have to remember this is a fictional story. And we can get upset about a fictional story, but we're not going to attack each other about a fictional story. Okay? But the reason they moved up north and attacked Darkshore and everything else was because they wanted more horde presence in Kalimdor. But from a military standpoint, even Saurfang agreed it makes sense. The horde needs to have a stronger presence in Kalimdor. So they were going to kick the Night Elves out. Okay? Saurfang even said we're not killing innocents. And at first, they weren't. Now, that does not excuse the invasion. You have to understand, from the reader's point of view here, from me reading this, you can say they shouldn't have invaded. That was a terrible thing they did. But you have to also look at it from the character perspective as well. Saurfang wanted to engage this war honorably. He did not want to kill innocents, and at first that was not happening. And then the burning of the tree happened. And the reason Sylvanas made the decision to burn it, and this was stated in her monologue. And I know someone's going to say, oh, well, she was lying. Well, here's the deal. We didn't know that, and nothing alluded to that. And again, this is where the books and the short stories and everything else is not matching what's in game. And that's where their massive disconnect with their narrative is happening. Okay? Sylvanas told him, because you spared Malfurion, I had to do this. Because now that he has escaped, it's going to spark hope in the Alliance. They're going to rally behind it, and now they're going to attack us up here. I've removed a spot. Now, she did a very terrible thing by burning Teldrassil and killing all those innocents. That was terrible. She did it, and I'm not excusing it. She did it to send a message to the Alliance, and it was terrible. Saurfang tried to stop it. Saurfang tried to stop it, and he was ready to leave the Horde and go die in battle after that. Now, that is where the cinematic actually matched what was happening in the short story book narrative. Saurfang absolutely detested her for that, as he should have. But later on, we find out, oh, the real reason Sylvanas did it was to send all these souls into the Maw. And there was nothing in the lead up to Battle for Azeroth that gave any kind of an inclination that that was the reason she did it. We were told the reason why she did it. And when you're telling a story, and a character straight up tells the reader, this is why I did it, you have to assume that that is fact. You can't pull a gotcha card and retcon the reason, because then you're just insulting the reader and it's just shit writing. Inserting the jailer into this and screwing with the lore and changing things about the Lich King and Arthas and Frostmourne, Sylvanas' motives, her entire reason for trying to strengthen through her being a Banshee and living with her unlife and being the Banshee Queen and ruling over the Forsaken and going to Northrend in the first place and even not letting her have closure with Arthas, inserting the jailer as the catalyst of all this has effectively upended and tainted and butchered not only the lore, but her character. And they suck ass for doing this. They suck ass.
Their workshop.
They've created everything we've experienced in Azeroth and Shadowlands and even realms we haven't discovered yet.
These first ones built the universe as far as we know, but their intentions or methods are completely unknown.
But of course, the jailer's presence here is disrupting this process. And we're working to push back against the jailer's forces and protect this place.
Why? Why?
I think the artists have done a fantastic job.
Let him undo everything.
I know they did a lot of research.
Let him.
And they looked at a lot of real-life examples of very strange places in the real world.
As a team, we were really trying to make this place as alien as
Girl, what's going on
possible.
with your jacket?
So we really wanted to make everything feel completely unique and completely different. Our trees here are floating. We
Burning Crusades Nagarin would like a word with you. It's Burning Crusades Nagarin. Looks cool. Looks neat. But it's Burning Crusades Nagarin.
have stones that are floating. We even have the massive Forge of Afterlives that is floating in the center of the zone.
And true to its name, it's something that is kind of putting together a new afterlife to be sent out into the Shadowlands.
We have...
What? What? Back that up. What?
That is kind of putting together a new afterlife to be sent out into the Shadowlands.
So you're telling me you're telling me the various afterlives that characters go to when they die are popping out of this Easy Bake Oven? What? 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 Oh, God. This video is going to be the end of me, I swear.
Shadowlands.
We have this water all around you because water is really the catalyst for any kind of creation.
It's actually unlike any other water that we've seen before. This is actually water that we
Eternals.
can walk on. It almost creates like a threshold between Zereth Mortis and some other kind of more primordial space right below it. Everything you see in Zereth Mortis has a purpose, an intention behind it. For us, it was really important to find ways to convey that intention in the environment itself. And one of the ways in which we did it was through this duality between a lush and a dry biome. In the dry
14 players. What was the name of the desert place in the first in Shadowbringers? Was it? What was the name of the desert place in Shadowbringers on the first? Amarang. Yeah, it's Amarang. It's Amarang. It's Amarang. It's Amarang.
Biome, we see perhaps what the original look of the zone was when the progenitors were first establishing this workspace for themselves.
Can we please?
And in
just
the
go
lush
back that as
biome,
well?
we see the result of their experimentation with plant life and fauna and things like that.
Please just go back.
These are all test beds for what we'll eventually see elsewhere.
From there, we started thinking about what kinds of creatures would be in this place that are fundamentally prototypes. There's terraforming here. There's creatures that are building
To be
afterlives.
fair,
we tried to really
artistically speaking, that
stretch
does look
and
cool.
think what that
Fair.
might be like.
To be fair,
My personal
This does
favorite
look cool.
includes the giant armored snail, and we also have a progenitor chicken, which answers the question of what came first.
kill me.
These first ones who crafted Zereth Mortis, what they left behind were the Automa, meant to take care of the place and make sure that it fulfilled its function to create afterlives.
The Automa have several different classes, and you can see this in their silhouettes. We have the builders, we have the protectors, we have the casters.
None
and
of
each
this
one
will
of them
matter in
have
the
a
next
specific
expansion.
role within the Shadowlands. And then you'll also discover
this will matter.
the Jiro, which are a part of the Automa. They're a little more quirky, they have a little more personality.
They look cute,
They are a little
but none
more
of it will
sentient
matter.
than the other Automa, so some of them even
None
split
of it
off to
will
pursue
matter.
their own desires.
None of it will matter.
Unfortunately, when we found our way in, Devourers also found their way in. They are ravenous.
They're consuming this weird energy, and it's causing them to mutate and to fall apart.
And the Automa
It's Slua.
They're consuming this weird energy, and it's causing them to
It's Slua from. It's Slua from Soul Reaver. It's Slua from Soul Reaver. The little devourer creatures that nom on souls. It's what they are.
mutate and to fall apart.
and the Automa, where they are confronted by them, some of them are fighting them off.
And so it's going to take some time for them to understand
doesn't
that we're
matter.
here trying to help them drive out this
Why
threat.
are we helping them? Why? Why? Why are we helping
Fortunately,
them?
we've got some allies. There are some enlightened brokers here that we're going to be working with.
But it's a broker that arrived here quite a long time ago and has had a change of heart from looking at the world as a very transactional place to seeing this place as a holy place, a sacred place.
Why does this matter?
We meet an enlightened one named Fareem,
Why does
and
this matter?
Fareem needs our assistance,
This-
and in return
this
he
character's
leads us
not gonna matter.
to Haven.
which is a hub that has been created out of progenitor ruins. And this is where the enlightened really have made their home.
This is not going to
Haven
matter.
serves as our foothold here, as well as use it as a base of operations and really start unlocking the mysteries of this land.
The enlightened brokers are intent on protecting and preserving the work of the first ones here. But now they're seeing Zoval bring his forces against the Automa and tear up the land, and they are eager for assistance.
The brokers themselves are very ostentatious, they're very into materialism, but the enlightened are not that at all. They have relinquished this material way, and you'll see this reflected in their clothes. They're a little tattered, they're a little faded.
They have forsaken all material things, except for the stick and the red cloak that covers their butt,
Because it just
or the hammer, or the bow. But they have forsaken their material wants, except those.
isn't important to them anymore. They're just here for the pursuit of knowledge.
Well, that is a want. Good God. Can't even do that.
When players arrive, they're kind of fishes out of water. And one of the first things that we have to do is...
We've been fishes out of water this whole day. Oh my God. That is the explanation for this entire freaking expansion. We shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here, man. We shouldn't be here. No shit, Sherlock. God. Ugh.
Start learning how to communicate with the Automa. Think of it as a kind of runic language, based in symbols.
We will bond with a small construct who's pretty cute, actually. And with his assistance and the assistance of Farim, we will learn eventually how to understand the symbols through the cipher of the first one.
Pardon? Gonna make a comparison here. Gonna make a comparison. We get to the first in Final Fantasy XIV. You have to grind for a month before you can understand the language that is spoken on the first. Does that sound like fun to you? Does that sound like fun to you? That doesn't sound like fun. It doesn't make me wonder what they're going to say because one, none of it's going to matter. One, none of it's going to matter. By next expansion, none of this will matter. Because they're probably just going to retcon the whole damn thing. Or the jailer will Thanos snap everything and whatnot. But you know what it sounds like to me? That doesn't sound like an engaging story. That doesn't sound like something that should matter to your character. You know what it sounds like to me? A boring ass chore. That's what it sounds like to me. A boring ass chore. Sums up my WoW experience for quite a while now.
We'll uncover different parts of this alphabet and start to learn more about the progenitors and Zereth Mortis itself.
It will allow you to unlock new and different forms of content. So that can range from daily quests to new options on the vendors.
He's at Cab Resty. Thank you for the raid, man.
To places to explore and new side quests that open up. So it's really the gateway to exploring the far reaches of Zereth Mortis.
Yeah, it's time gating. It's just more time gating.
As we looked into the development of Cypher of the First Ones, we wanted something that was unique that players haven't seen before. A little bit of familiarity, but something that takes that to the next level.
We really involved the whole team in this creative process. We worked with our UI team to be able to represent those through text, through these things talking and seeing them on screen.
Such deviation was always my intention.
And chat bubbles and in our chat window. Little by little, these kind of runes start taking shape into words that we recognize. But it's going to be a process that unfolds over the course of playing through Eternity's End. The Automa speak in this kind of musical language. They don't talk the
Listen to that again.
in this kind of musical language. They don't talk the way.
Listen to that again.
Eternity's End. The Automa speak in this kind of musical language. They don't talk the way
Asians. Asians. In Amarat.
that we mortals are used to speaking. The sound team was super excited. They jumped in, they started prototyping all kinds of different sounds. We listened, we gave feedback, and we really ended up in a cool place. As you're playing through and gradually unlocking the language, you'll be able to see those words that they're saying, but still hear those tones. The jailer's true goal has never really been to escape the Maw or to gain power. He's been focused on reaching this place called the Sepulcher, to go in.
WoW players that have actually stuck with the game. First of all, bravo. Second of all, was it mentioned anywhere prior to this that this was the place he wanted to go? Before I say what I'm going to say, was it stated anywhere that he was trying to reach this sepulcher? Primus mentions it briefly. Was its importance stated? This is what I want to know. Was its importance stated? It was not. Listen to him again.
Or to gain power. He's been focused on reaching this place called the Sepulcher.
Why couldn't you say it in a... Why couldn't you say it in the game? Why couldn't you say this in the game? Why couldn't you put that in the narrative in the game? Why? Why?
To go into this place of power and to really rewrite the rules of the universe.
That's fine.
We'll learn that the jailer has breached the sepulcher of the first ones, and this becomes our new raid for Eternity's End. We're going to gather our forces. We're going to pursue the jailer inside. Once you go inside the sepulcher, there's some mind-blowing visuals. This is a place that should not be able to exist according to the laws of physics as we know them on Azeroth. Just looking out into this impossible sky of seeing these ancient...
Look, artistically speaking, it looks good. Artistically speaking, it looks good. And I will always say this. The art and the music team have always been top-notch when it comes to WoW. Nobody can deny this. Art, graphics, animation, music. Good shit. It's everything else that's ass.
Works of the first ones, those laws don't apply to anything we see here.
Oh, no shit.
Among the bosses that we're going to...
Hey, guys, we're in the afterlife. This shouldn't make sense.
face in Sepulcher of the first ones include the jailer's forces, maybe a dreadlord or two that you haven't tied up loose ends with. We'll face a consular. This is similar to a being like Algalon, but the
just hold up. Wait.
forces, maybe a Dreadlord or two that you haven't tied up loose ends with, will face a Constellar. This is similar to a being like
It's Algalon. It's Algalon. It's Algalon. It's Algalon from Ulduar. They're not even trying anymore. They're not even trying. The Jailer's spin on Algalon.
Algalon, but the Jailer's gotten to it and has infused his domination magic into the Constellar. Before we get to the Jailer,
There's Sylvanas. Like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. They can't even keep this right. Can't even keep this right. They can't even keep this right, I swear to
Jailer, however, we need to get to Anduin first. Our hope is that we can learn whatever
Kill
Anduin
him.
knows
Just kill
about
him.
domination magic. We need to be able to resist it, or better yet, fight it.
We know players have been waiting a long time for the return of tier sets, and as devs, we have too.
Then why'd you take them out? Then why'd you take them out in the first place? Why did you take them out in the first place? One of your big dumbass decisions is taking out tier sets.
It's a great blend.
To be fair, this stuff looks pretty good. Some of this, the gold and the white and the dark colors, this looks pretty cool. No lie. No lie. Being fair, this actually looks really cool. For real. This actually looks really cool.
And of progenitor magic,
This looks
golds, and
no. This actually looks cool. These look like cool ass tier sets, for real. Like for real. These actually look cool. Like I would want this as a tier set. These look really cool. It does. I love the clash of white and gold and black. I like the emphasis on, you know, light and chains and stuff. It looks really cool. Don't get me wrong. I will give credit where credit is due. This looks really cool. It's probably the Mythic set.
metals, along with those classic
Ooh, the Demon Hunter one actually looks really good. Holy shit. Dude, look at the Demon Hunter one right there. Damn. Holy shit. That looks good.
defining silhouettes, wolves,
Oh, look at the Rogue one. I like this. Okay. I like this. I like that the face is like covered in light. That's good shit. That's good shit. That looks good. That looks really good. I would want these as armor sets. These look good.
for shamans, pointy things for rogues. It's going to look amazing.
That looks
Our
good.
class and combat team was super excited to bring class sets back. This is something that felt really right for the story. Where
Back up.
the team was super excited to bring class sets back. This is something
Someone look right.
that felt really right for the story, where in the
Why are the colors so muted? These have to be like the LFR versions or something like that.
final act of the Shadowlands saga, where
These have to be like the LFR versions. Yeah, or raid. Yeah, raid finder. Yeah.
here, literally on the brink at eternity's end.
Except this one. Except this one. Except this one. This one actually looks really good. I like this one. I like this one. Yeah, the blades look cool too. Oh yeah. No, that one actually looks good. No, I guarantee you these are raid sets. No, it's tier sets, one arm, so that it's raid.
And what better place to fully unleash
Not a fan.
the power of these classes, and I think players will really enjoy the return of those classes.
Yeah, the golden white ones, that's
team
mythic,
enjoyed
calling it
making.
right now.
How do you make something that is mystical and magical and incomprehensible and yet understandable? I think
None of this is understandable, honey. None of it.
we've done a good job of finding that line.
The team as a whole has been working so hard, and we are so excited to get this out for everyone.
We're gonna get new mounts, new pets.
A bit horrifying for me, but exciting for some is the fact that, some of the spider mounts can now fly. Who needs flying spiders? But that's also going to be a cool thing for people.
We have updates to professions, to soulbinds, to conduits. There's a new
Wait, what?
dancing minigame in Dark Moon.
There's a new dancing minigame in Dark Moon Fair. You're not getting that dance studio, though, guys.
Moon Fair.
I'm a story guy, so I'm super geeked about watching players kind of piece together those little lore tidbits. That's what excites me as well.
I'm really looking forward to Season 3 of Mythic Plus. Tazavesh is getting split into 2 dungeons. If you're a raider, if you chase Keystone Master, if you're an achievement collector, there's something for everyone to do in this.
Mythic Plus was the worst mistake you ever added to this game. It changed the entire mentality around raiding.
Shadowlands is like the final chapter of one book of the Warcraft saga.
No.
And our team is already hard at work on the next stories to come. Can't talk about them quite yet, but when the time is right, we're going to be really excited to share them with you.
So they're basically saying no 9.3. That's exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. Because they recognize that the entirety, they've realized the entirety of this expansion has been shit. They realize the entirety of this expansion has been shit. It's been shit. And it makes me stupid idiots.